Nigeria police force finally speaks on FBI fraud allegations against its celebrated cop Abba Kyari. The force also stated that it's committed to the pursuit of justice. The IGP, Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered an internal review of the receipt of allegations and indictment processes from the Federal Bureau of Investigation against one of the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force, DCP Abba Kyari. This was contained in a statement issued by the force's spokesperson Frank Mba on its Facebook page on Thursday night. The force also stated that it is committed to the pursuit of justice and the strengthening of its professional relationship with the FBI and other international partners. It assured Nigerians to further communicate developments on the case to members of the public. The statement read, "Sequel to the receipt of allegations and indictment processes from the Federal Bureau of Investigation against one of the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force, DCP Abba Kyari, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, PSE, NPM, FDC, has ordered an internal review of the allegations. The Nigerian Police Force reaffirms its commitment to the pursuit of justice and the strengthening of its professional relationship with the FBI and other international partners. Further development on the case will be communicated to members of the public accordingly." The United States courts earlier issued a warrant of arrest for Kyari over his role in serial internet fraudster Ramon Abbas, more commonly Hush Puppy's multi-million naira fraud probe. Otis Wright of the United States District Court for the Central District of California ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation to track down Kyari and produce him in the United States for his role in a multi-million-dollar fraud. Abbas was arrested in Dubai last June and he pleaded guilty to fraud in the US this week. The FBI said Abbas and Kyari have been friends and were both involved in a conspiracy to launder money. American prosecutors first sought a court warrant to arrest Kyari on February 12, 2021. Another warrant was requested on April 29, 2021. Judge Wright's permission for the FBI to arrest Mr. Kyari and hold him in U.S. custody was unsealed on July 26th. Sahara reporters had earlier reported that Hush Puppy narrated how he bribed Kyari to have one of his rivals arrested and jailed in Nigeria following a dispute over a $1.1 million dupe of a Qatari business person. Abbas had asked Kyari to arrest and jail a fellow fraudster, Kelly Chibuzo Vincent, after both were locked in a dispute, presumably over how to share the $1.1 million loot received from the Qatari business person. Abbas had pleaded guilty to a multi-million fraud earlier this month and faces up to 20 years in jail. He will be sentenced in the coming weeks and will forfeit some of his assets and rights to appeal while also paying restitution to victims of his years-long fraud. Kyari, in a statement on Facebook, has, however, dismissed the allegations of bribe. Wow, this is very deep. I mean, this is now a whole different level of drama that is not needed. Obviously, given the situation and the intensity of this, it will probably distract a lot of Nigerians. This is probably going for the next week or two. I mean, as the case unravels, this will carry Nigerians along, and Nigerians will be interested, and unfortunately, attention will be diverted, and of course, we will not necessarily focus on the fact that Kanu is being held hostage and Igboho is being, investigated in Benin Republic, and, other security issues that we should, pressure the government on. I mean, this obviously does give the government a bad look anyway. But I think because Hush Puppy is involved, of course, there's a whole, celebrity gist to it. I think it's it's embarrassing. It's very much embarrassing because the police have said that it is committed to the pursuit of justice. Very ambiguous, because it's like the pursuit of justice for who? Abba Kyari or the victims, or who? You know what I mean? That is just open to interpretation there, which means they're not really on anybody's side. And of course, it's a stain because Abba Kyari is seen as one of the most well decorated, members of the police force, and it's very much embarrassing. The fact is, with the FBI investigator or the judge, actually Judge Wright, evidence was actually given to him where I read it in the last article where there with specific phone numbers there have been there have been conversations, and they've shared photos together, and the conversations, they actually released them, obviously not all because of confidentiality, but the pictures and conversations were released, and it seemed like these people were friends. And I think what the phrasing of the actual article was Hush Puppy saying words along the lines of I will be your boy, or I will be good to you, sir, which means that he was basically trying to, look good to Abba Kyari. And then obviously this now makes sense. The text makes sense because Hush Puppy literally wanted Abba Kyari to arrest one of his, counterparts because of a clash that they had, which has nothing to do with this. But to see how he's involved in this, obviously is very embarrassing, but what can you really do? Really and truly, this is nothing. Really and truly, this is nothing. If you look at the case of Issa Pantami, which of course we are never going to forget because that is just big. If you compare this to the case of Issa Pantami, the case of Issa Pantami should have been taken with the utmost severity, with the utmost intensity, with the vim and the passion in which they throw military presence in places where it's not needed, with the vim and the passion in which they extradited Kanu back to Nigeria. They don't do that. Issa Pantami had sufficient evidence to prove that he had links with terrorist organizations, in which there are actually even videos of him when he was younger, not much younger. This man was like 33 years old when he said some statements in which he was actually praising some well-known terrorist leaders and justifying what they did, and of course this is somebody that is Minister for Information and Technology at the time, pushing for the NIN. So of course you understand why Nigerians will be wary about giving the information to somebody like that who had links with terrorists. So in that moment, someone who was actually in the government in a higher position than I think Abba Kyari in this case, he was not treated. They just said, "Oh, forgive him," and that was it. Again, people were annoyed about the story, but then the story died off, and it's gonna happen. The same thing is gonna happen here, and unfortunately, with what is gonna happen, of course, we can't stress because it's the US that is taking care of this case. So at least, not putting US on a high horse or anything, but it's more likely that we're going to see till the end of this case, and how everything pans out. So when it comes to justice, we don't have to worry about that. I think one thing that is a disadvantage to Nigerians about this news is that it is very likely that our attention will be diverted, and we will not even focus on the fact that we need to apply pressure to the government to do better things in terms of getting justice for Kanu, and of course with Igboho, and of course the whole insecurity situation. Nigerians will more likely for the next weeks as the story unfolds be concerned about this drama per se. Put what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.